Boys and girls, it's your boy Young King Cookson here today on the YouTube in front of your face making a video. And today we're talking a little bit of footy because it's Monday night, we're talking footy. It's a Wednesday night. Yeah. But before I get stuck into this video, I have a public service announcement. Me, Austin, Young Kingeth Cookson, made my debut on the True Footy podcast. I'm sure you've all heard of True Footy. If you hadn't, the channel link is in the description. The podcast is live now, so make sure to check that out. Me having a bit of a chat with Jesse, ripping bloke, and yeah, does great work on the tube. So make sure to subscribe. But today, on this video, the reason you all clicked on, because I'm sure I maybe did a clickbaity title or something about my top 10 players in the AFL.
What was that? Is that a dog?
I haven't looked at champion data. I haven't looked at Mark Robinson's rankings. This is all me. This is who I think. But then again, saying that, it's not an opinion, because if it's I think it, it's facts. I don't say things that aren't facts. Anything that I think is truth. If you disagree with me, you should go to the nearest bin and dump your head in it and go, grrr, I need to learn like Cooko. I'm gonna crack on with my number 10 best player going into the 2020 AFL season. I have Mr. Jeremy Cameron. Jezza won the Coleman medal last year, robbed Benny Brown. But then again, even if Ben Brown won the Coleman, I wouldn't have him in. I love Ben Brown, but Jeremy Cameron is a modern day key forward, can play all around the ground. If you need him to do minutes in the midfield, can do it. Obviously, is a staunch man up forward though. He does bits. Whereas Benny Brown is, he's more more just mark and kick goals. Like he's not as handy around the ground as Jeremy Cameron is. Yeah, real modern day key forward. Moves really well, tall, strong, skillful, and I think he's the 10th best player in the AFL. You might look at that and go, wait, but Tim Taranto is a more talented footballer. But Jeremy Cameron's impact on the game, I think he's the most, just about the most important player to the Giants team. Along with, I think, Nick Haynes is up there as well, but he just misses out on the list. But yeah, Jezza Cameron, number 10. At number 9, I've got Mr. Marcus Bontempelli. By the end of this year, we could be saying Marcus Bontempelli is the number 1 player in the AFL. Watched that preseason game against North Melbourne on the weekend, and he tore us to shreds. He looks like he's going to have a massive year. He's obviously already won a flag, already been named as he's cemented himself as a top 20 player in the comp, but I think he's cemented himself as a top 10 player. And by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if I was saying he's the best player in the comp and has a Brownlow around his neck. So Marcus Bontempelli is number 9. Obviously, tall midfielder, silky. You can't tackle him. Can kick goals, could go back in defence and take intercept marks. He does it all. Very skillful player, and he's my 9th best player in the AFL going into season 2020. Number 8, this man sort of emerged last year. We all knew he was a good player and could get possessions, but he went to the Brisbane Lions last year and emerged as top 10 player. He was up there in the Brownlow. Lachie Neale of the Brisbane Lions. Lachie Neale, I think he's still reasonably young. He had 47 touches in his first preseason game, which is obviously he's been training hard. Looks like he's going to have another big year. Again, one big season. He already had one big season, but one bigger season, and he could go up to a top 5 player in the comp. I just don't think his upside is as big as the Bonts. Obviously, he doesn't have the height and the athleticism sort of thing as the Bont, but I've got him higher ranked than the Bont, but I think I can see the Bont jumping him. Lachie Neale, is a solid footballer, and I have him the 8th best player in the league going into the season 2020. Number 7 is the big man from Melbourne, Max Gawn. Again, I think Gawny is the most influential player on the Demons list, and I think he's top 10 candidate, 7th best player in the league. It's very hard to really pinpoint who's better than others, like if he's 7th, he's 8th, but that's what I'm doing it. I chose to do it, and I'm doing it. I'm sticking with Gawny at 7. I think the second best ruckman in the comp, second best ruckman we've had for a long time, so that might hint at who else is in the top 10 to come, but yeah, Gawny, superstar, just became captain, and I think he's going to just have another really good year, which he always seems to do. Number 6, I have the man with 2 Norm Smiths, the man with a Brownlow, the man with 2 premierships, Mr. Dustin Martin. Doesn't seem as though he really cares about footy, but he plays like he cares because he's very, very good at football. Obviously, a midfielder that's very, very strong going forward of centre. And yeah, a stud, Dusty. What do I say? We all watch Dusty. We all know he's good. People probably think 6 is too low for him, really. But that's where I've got him because I think there's 5 guys in the league that I'd rather have in my team than him. And the first one of them is number 5, Mr. Patrick Dangerfield. Again, people are going to say that's too low for him. But yeah, Danger. If Danger was a little bit cleaner by boot, cleaner by foot, he would probably be just about the best player in the comp. Obviously explosive, strong, can take good marks, has a big kick on him. Just, yeah, very powerful, impacts the game heavily, lays big tackles, can win hard ball, but he's not the best of kick of the football. I've met young Patrick and he's a great bloke, and he's a great footballer. But if he tidied up his kicking, which, you know, might to come, he would definitely be top 3 player. Number 4, I have, this might be a bit of a shock to people, but really not, Mr. Jeremy McGovern. You might be saying, Jeremy McGovern's not better than Dusty, Jeremy McGovern's not better than Bont, Jeremy McGovern. But Jeremy McGovern is the best key defender in the league, I believe. And also, I just think the way that he gets intercept marks and he just puts forwards out of the game and not only gets the fist and stops the forward, but he gets his touches himself, gets his marks. He's just, nothing gets to him. He's like a robot. He's just zoned in, like he doesn't feel pressure. I think he's, yeah, one of the most valuable players in the league, and I'd love to have him at North Melbourne. Alongside Robbie Tarrant, who I think is a top 3 key back in the league. But that's for a different video, no North Melbourne talk for this one. But yeah, Jeremy McGovern is my 4th best player in the league. Leave your comments in the comment section of why I'm an idiot and that's wrong. But just remember, all my opinions are correct and you're wrong. So there's that. Number 3 player in the comp. When I first made this list, I had this player at number 1, but I just slid him down just because the 2 guys ahead of him, they're just phenoms. It's Brodie Grundy, the best ruckman possibly I've ever seen. The man's very tall and wins a lot of hit-outs, but he's an absolute beast around the ground and just like another midfielder. If he didn't play ruck and he just played on ball, I think he'd be close to top 10 player. Like he's, maybe not, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but he's an absolute stud for a ruckman. Like he dominates your ruckman in the air and then dominates him around the ground. Super privileged Collingwood Football Club are to have him. It's just like another midfielder. The guy that wins the tap and then he can go follow it up and run around and get posies for you. Unreal player. And yeah, I don't really need to tell you why these guys are good. We all watch footy, we all know why. I just want to know in the comments who you think are better than these people. Number 2. Now, I've made a video on this. Number 2 I've got is Patrick Cripps. A lot of people think he's the number 1 guy, and he's very close to it. But for me, I've got him number 2, and then I've got Nathan Fyfe number 1. There's not a lot to compare them, really. I think Fyfe might be a little bit classier, and he's better in the air. But then again, Cripps is probably stronger, more of a bull, obviously one of the best contested players in the league. Yeah, I don't know, both on bad teams, so I think whoever's team does better this year might have a stake to claim that they're the better player out of the 2. Obviously Fyfe just won the Brownlow, so that helps his claim. Not that this is something these 2 blokes think about on the weekly, but I think that it's sort of up there that those 2 are the best players in the comp. I don't know, I think there's obviously your Dangerfields and your Dusties that people throw around, but for me it's Cripps is number 2, and then I've got Fyfe number 1. I made a whole video on AFL Would You Rather. The link for that will be at the end of this video, so go watch that and see why I think Fyfe is better than Cripps. But yeah. Oh, drop your hate in the comments, or tell me why you agree with me. Footy content's back, baby. Round 1 in not that many days. I got plenty coming out. We're going crazy this year. Five videos a week minimum. Footy content. I might chuck in something silly here and there. Go over to the True Footy YouTube channel and watch me on a podcast. Drop a sub to the Young King Cookson YouTube channel, or else I will kiss your dad. See you later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
It's just like a subway.